If you're not willing to put in the work that it takes to get you where you desire to be, then stop complaining when you don't have it. It's as simple as that. This is something that's been really present in my life right now, and I'm warning you, if you don't do well with tough love, then this message is not for you. But this is kind of the kind of support that I need sometimes, and also just a message for like people out there. I have worked with so many people that desire a specific goal, and the second that I start bringing a plan with the exercises that are going to get them to that goal, they don't want to do it anymore. They get lost in the exercises and the difficulty that it takes to get from where they are now to where they want to be, that they just give up, or that they complain and they think that they're working too hard, and they often forget to take a step out and be like, okay, what did I ask for? What did I ask for? What's my goal? Where do I want to be? How different is that from who I am right now? If it's really quite different than where you are right now, then it's going to require a whole lot of effort to get to where you want to be. And that's as simple as it can be. Like, there's no hidden tricks in that. You just got to do the things that are going to take you there. For example, if you desire a certain dream life, and keep in mind that I'm saying this to people, but I'm also saying it to myself in a certain sense, because we're all guilty of having these kinds of, I guess, victimizing behaviors that stop us from actually getting where we want to be. But going back to my example, if you desire a certain dream life and you're not taking any sort of action or any aligned action to get there, then stop complaining when you don't have the dream life. Or if you desire to have a certain type of body or view yourself a certain way, have a different mindset, stop complaining when there are certain things that arrive in your life and that are forcing you to be a different way, aka the way that you desire to be, and then you shy away from that because you're like, oh, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's fucking uncomfortable. Like, change is uncomfortable. Becoming a person who is different than who you are today is uncomfortable, or unbecoming the person who you are today to become who you want to be is difficult. But that's how you're going to get to where you want to be. One of the biggest things that I hear is like, okay, when I used to teach yoga, I often had people comment on my body. They would say, how do you get abs like that? You look so strong. Where did you get that from? And I would tell them that I work out in a gym, and I also have a higher level of intensity for my classes. They'd be interested. We'd get into a conversation. And then later I find out from them, oh, I'm just not the type of person that goes to the gym. Oh, I just can't commit to a training plan. Oh, I just like hate vinyasa style, or like, let's say, more intense yoga classes, which I'm not saying that yoga is the best way to get into physical shape, but that's a whole different conversation. But what I'm saying is, like, these people aren't even open. They're not even open to doing the work to get where they want to be. They're like, I want, but they're not doing the work to get there. Or like, another big thing that has been coming up recently, women who are comfortable in their skin, or women who appear as beautiful or have a certain glow. People will say, oh, you're lucky. You were born that way. Oh, you're lucky. You're just confident. No, I wasn't born this way. I had to work for this. I had to act confident in the moments where all I wanted to do is curl up in a ball. I had to do hard things to show myself that I could trust myself, that my words actually meant something. They weren't just empty promises. I had to prove to myself that I was worthy of becoming the person that I am today. And through consistency and discipline, that's how I got there. I'm going to share an even more personal example of this. For the first 3 years of my relationship with my current partner, I struggled so hard having any sort of intimate moment with him. It just wouldn't work. My whole entire body would freeze up and wasn't able to open. I was in full-on protection mode. And after a while, I was like, okay, well, maybe we should just ever stop. Maybe we should just stop from ever trying. And that would just be safer. I'd be so much more comfortable if we stopped trying, like I don't want to do the hard thing. I don't want to get to the moment where like we're like in the mood and then all of a sudden my body like clams up and I close off and then we're both left with a bitter taste in our mouth. I don't want to do that. So let's just not do it. And of course my partner was so kind and allowed the situation to fold out. But after a while of us just not trying, he was like, hey, don't you think that one of the greatest ways to get through this block of yours is by actually trying? And mind you that I had taken every single course under the book about sexuality. I had signed up, spent so much money on all these different courses, learning about why does my body close up, what is this telling, learning the language of my body in this moment, in this very deep, sacred moment, the moment where we feel the most vulnerable. And it still wasn't working. And in one evening, I was just so upset and I was like, I feel like I've spent so much time and energy trying to overcome this and it's just not working. And that's where my partner was like, yeah, but you haven't tried doing the actual act. And you haven't tried reframing your mindset in that very moment. And from that moment on, I was like, you're so right. He stopped me in my tracks, and it was a humbling moment, because nobody likes it when someone shows up in your face and is like, look at where you're not doing the work. Even though you say you're doing the work, look at where you're not doing it. But I'm so thankful that he told me that, because fast forward a year, things go much better. Because I actually started doing the action and reframing my mind, my perspective about it. And that has been more powerful than any class that I've ever taken. And it keeps developing and forming over time. So if your goal is to walk and you are paralyzed right now, I want you to start at the very beginning. If you can't walk, because if you're paralyzed, you really can't do anything, what's the first step that you can do to get that connection back? Can you have someone massage all your limbs? Start stimulating the brain to body connection. I'm no physical therapist, these are not actual things, but I'm giving you an idea of like, what are those steps that you could take? Even the little tiny baby step, like, okay, if you're paralyzed, could you imagine yourself walking? Could you like visualize yourself walking? Hell yeah. Could you feel the emotions that you would want to feel as you were walking? Or hell, even like running through a field, smelling the air, like touching the flowers on your hands, like feeling your legs moving, feeling the muscles working, like really going deep into that experience. You can do that. And it might be long. And you really have to be patient, but you will get there. And slowly you'll be able to build up based on what you're able to do. That's all I have to say, is that if you have a goal, you have to be willing to do the work that's going to get you there. I hope that this message hit you in a moment of your life that you really needed it. Thanks for listening.